We haven't been canceled yet.
We're here again.
People apparently are kind of liking us a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're back.
We're back.
Are you Cirrus?
I feel like
Are you? I know, right?
Yeah. Your mic needs to come down. I can barely see. There we go.
There we go. Are you Cirrus?
Are You
Episode
Cirrus?
3.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm Jamie Arnold, Chief Meteorologist.
I am Andrew Dockery, morning meteorologist. We did not do that on episode 1 or 2.
People are like, who are these weather dorks just talking about whatever?
Oh, we had someone from Iowa and Montana listen.
Iowa and Montana. Yeah, I saw the Iowa. I didn't see Montana.
Montana reached out to me on Facebook and then sent a photo of a moon as well over the Montana landscape. So
I was just recently in Montana and fell in love with it, and it's kind of bumped up a couple notches for future retirement opportunities.
Okay,
Yeah.
we might have to rank those in like top 5
Yeah,
order
that would be
here.
fun. Yeah,
that would be fun. I will say this: did not expect it to reach. I expected Kentucky because of back home.
right.
Carolinas and Kentucky was all I thought.
Yeah.
We had Tennessee, we had Ohio, Pennsylvania, probably Texas. Lauren's followings from Texas. We had people.
We're blowing up. We are blowing up.
I don't know about
for
blowing
some reason.
up.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but you know.
we do appreciate all the views.
Yes.
And apparently, when you do a podcast, you're supposed to tell people to subscribe. Did not know that either.
Nope.
So. So subscribe. Apparently like as well.
Okay.
Like the thing on YouTube or rate on Apple or Spotify.
No, I have heard about rating.
Rating apparently puts like your viewer profile demographic up.
Okay.
So if it's rated high, 5.0, people who, I guess, search weather things on Spotify will be able to see us. So rate, like, subscribe. I think that's it. And then, of course, share.
And then we have a playlist now. You tweeted that out this
On
morning.
YouTube?
I had to go look, and I was like, we have a playlist.
It's nice because everything's
Yeah.
in order. You don't have to search through all the news and weather, which we appreciate if you do.
Yeah.
But it's nice to actually have like 1, 2, now 3.
Yeah.
So before we talk about anything with this, the LA tornado yesterday.
Crazy. I was obsessed with it. I couldn't stop looking
Oh,
at the
my
video.
goodness.
Yeah, insane.
That's crazy. And it was the strongest one since 1983.
Yeah, unbelievable, which leads to one of our questions that we got. We asked for questions.
I love it.
And we got some.
We did get some. One of those was from Eric.
Yes.
And Eric said, all right, watch and warning. What's the difference here?
Easy peasy. It's like you can either like making a cake or making a taco.
Yeah.
A watch is flour, eggs, sugar, milk, some vanilla. All the ingredients are there to make a cake.
Yeah.
A warning is when you pull it out of the oven and there it is. So watch means your ingredients are there for severe weather.
Yeah.
Warning means it's happening or about to happen.
Same thing with tacos.
Tacos, meat, shells, cheese,
And
that's
then
your
when
watch.
it's assembled, there's the warning.
Yes.
Kind of the same way with the tornado in the atmosphere, right? Another one we got from Holly was on Twitter. This came in, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. Atmospheric river. People are hearing it, and it sounds daunting.
It does. And it's the latest buzzword. And I'm going to knock on our community a little bit, and I'm going to knock on California a little
Good,
bit.
because if you didn't, I was going to.
Right. Yeah, and I don't care. I'm old and let me have it, whatever.
We're canceled after today.
I'm the grumpy old man here. It's California being California, a little bit dramatic.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of a weather term that the media gets a hold of.
That's where
and
I was
gets
going.
really excited. A couple years ago, it was polar vortex.
Yep.
And then it was bomb cyclone. That was the buzzword for a good year. Bombogenesis. And now it's atmospheric river.
Yeah.
They are meteorological terms, but the media kind of gets a hold of it and it makes a really flashy headline. So basically all it is, a series of storms. And it's just, for California, it has been an incredible winter for them as far as 52 feet of snow, I think, in parts of the Sierra Nevada mountains, insane rainfall amounts, a tornado in LA yesterday. So it's just a series of storm systems. Sometimes they call it the Pineapple Express because the moisture originates from down by Hawaii and just kind of flows across the Pacific, but it's nothing to be scared of. It's nothing new. It's nothing terribly unusual. This one's unusual this winter because it has been so active. As crazy as it's been in California this year, though, it's still not the top snowiest or the top wettest in California. So these happen. It's just a new buzzword.
And believe it or not, atmospheric rivers have a large influence on our jet stream, which
Yes.
I tell people all the time, this is a balancing act in weather.
Yes.
If the atmospheric river is going and we are having troughs in the west, more than likely we are having ridges or an area of high pressure in the east. So before we even talk, I guess high pressure, beautiful sky. I always say high in the sky, you think of sunshine. Low, it brings everything low to the ground. It's your weather makers. It's everything we enjoy.
The good stuff.
The good stuff. The severe weather, the rain, anything you think of, the snow. So just think of it. That kind of dictates these patterns in these long-range forecasts. Kind of can look at basically stuff as simple as water vapor or an atmospheric river for ingredients. There's
atmospheric
our geeking
river. That's geeking out, and don't freak out about atmospheric river.
In
It's
fact,
nothing new. Like
when I came here, you told me when I started my shift, you were like, any weather scripts we read and we take it out. And now my favorite thing to do with new producers, the people who put the show, is like if they send me something like that, I'm like, oh, what's this word here mean? And then if they could tell it to me, keep it in. But they never can.
They can't.
Because they don't know what bombogenesis
and bomb cyclone. If I have to hear bomb cyclone one more time, I just want to scream.
No,
I mean, it's fun. It's exciting. We get excited about bomb cyclones. If you're using it as a headline to scare your audience, that's not good. That's giving all of us a bad name.
Oh, and it is happening way too much. Anyways, question of the week. We had 2 viewer questions, which were awesome. We do have question of the week, and I just want to ask this. This kind of gets us into the theme for this episode. When you're not working, when Jamie Arnold is not doing the forecast, where would you find him?
In my backyard, on the beach, or hopefully on a plane going somewhere. I'm a homebody. Love to be at home. I just love to be at home. Love to be in my yard. In fact, I was thinking on the way in this morning, I look awful for this podcast. I hope more people are listening than watching, because I got up this morning, had my coffee. I was like, let me do a couple of things in the yard. And then here I am. So I look awful. But I love to play in the yard.
What's your current project in the yard right now?
Literally everything. I had a rotten deck that I was taking out, replaced it with a patio, and that has, as all projects do, expanded and expanded and expanded. And now I'm in the middle of a total backyard renovation, which a 2-week project is now going on month 3. So we'll see how it turns out.
For me, it is usually cutting grass, because I very therapeutically, I can't say that.
You have an amazing lawn. You have an amazing lawn.
Fertilize regularly. Golfing and napping.
Napping is good.
Especially on that morning shift.
Good.
Especially on that morning shift. It is so good. You saw the Iowa comment. I can't remember the guy's name, but he came in and said, listen, I'm from Iowa. I know nothing about you all. I don't even think we said our name at first. So we apologize. I'm Andrew. He's Jamie. And this is Are You Serious? So this is going to be an episode all about
Not to make it about us.
All about us.
But it's kind of got to be all about us.
So I want to ask, first off, just some of the questions, just getting into it. And we talked about like what kind of got us into meteorology, I think on episode 1. But just to get you up to this point, because we know you went to Charlotte. You were telling us about that. Where did we go from there to get you to WMBF News?
All over the place, but never left the Carolinas. I was really lucky. So did my undergraduate studies at University of North Carolina at Charlotte. It wasn't my first pick because I wanted to go to NC State, which is much more of a renowned school for meteorology. I'm awful at math and I'm terrible at numbers.
That was one of my questions.
I think I have a little bit of number dyslexia. Kind of odd to have in this career. But I did get into UNC Charlotte. They didn't have a meteorology program when I was there. It was atmospheric science. So I double majored in atmospheric science and geography. Got a bachelor's degree in both. Was kind of ready to go after that. Was like done. Had this one professor that pushed and pushed and pushed and said, you need to go ahead and get your master's. Because this was still when I hadn't really decided if I wanted to do broadcast or do more of the scientific side. And he said, let's go ahead and get you into your master's. So after 4.5 years of undergrad, an extra semester because, again, of the math and the numbers, 2.5 years of grad school. Did you know that I'm a published author?
no.
That's a little bit much, but I had to dig
Was this a
around
case
through
study?
it. No, this was my master's thesis.
Okay.
That I had to write
Defend
to get exactly defended. And let me tell you the story about my defense. First of all, my master's thesis was an empirical assessment of extreme cloud-to-ground lightning events in the Carolina Piedmont. Pretty impressive, right?
I would stop at that at the conference.
Yeah. It was funded by Duke Energy.
Okay.
And basically what they wanted me to do was do a research study to find out, okay, we have big days in the summer where we have storms. Some days lightning knocks out crazy amounts of power. Other days, storms don't really produce a lot of lightning. We want you to figure out how we can look ahead and see which day is going to be a big lightning day. So that was basically my thesis, and it was funded again by Duke Energy. So you were talking about defending my thesis. This is one of the most humiliating things that has ever happened to me in my entire life. It was time to defend my thesis.
Oh, no.
3 weeks before
Which is
graduation.
a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. Basically, what you have to do is present your master's thesis to a board, and in my case, it was 6 professors in the Department of Atmospheric Science. We're in a conference room, big, long conference table. They're lined up on each side. I'm at the head of the table, 24, 25 years old, ill-fitted suit, bad hair, nervous as I could be to defend my thesis. And it was about time to start. And I was in a rolling chair. It was a chair that had 4 wheels on it. And I went to pull myself up to the table to start my defense. And as that happened, I went forward, but the chair did not. The chair flipped up. I fell down on my butt onto the floor. The chair, not only did the chair slide out from under me, as I did, it flipped over and landed on my head. So I'm defending my master's thesis with a chair on top of my head. It was mortifying. I got up and expected to see maybe a laugh, a chuckle, or a, hey, are you okay?
Straight face.
Not a single professor had a smile on their face. And I had to get through the rest of that 2 hours knowing what had just happened. And even when it was done, nobody mentioned it.
I did a little bit of research in my senior year, and kudos to you for doing it. It's very interesting. I can't do it. I can't pull all the data and look at it and just spend all of your time and energy on one thing. We did a case study of the March 2nd tornado, and where it originated, it was actually right over campus in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Wow, yeah.
And then went and produced its damage in West Liberty. But to do and just spend just a short 8 weeks, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, it was a good 18 months of my life doing that, and ended with me on the floor with a chair on top of my head. But somehow I got my master's degree, and here I am. They pushed me to get my doctorate, and I was like, nope, I'm done.
I don't blame you.
Not going to do anymore. I'm going into television.
So what made you change from master's? You were going into a degree that was to broadcasting.
Hey, broadcasting, the easy side. The easy side. I did an internship at WCNC in Charlotte. And I was there at the time for, if there's any Charlotte people or maybe Carolina people watching, I was there when Ray Boylan was at WCNC. He had been at WSOC in Charlotte, legendary meteorologist who had been a hurricane hunter, a Navy veteran, just one of the most genuine, nicest guys and smartest men as far as meteorology goes. And he was at WCNC in Charlotte, the NBC affiliate, with Terry Bennett, who was a chief meteorologist. I weaseled my way into an internship there, fell in love with the TV business. Terry pushed me and pushed me and pushed me to get in front of the green screen. I didn't want to do it. I did it. She was like, you're good at this. So by that point, I had the bug. At the end of the internship, I loved being in the TV business. I loved just the excitement of it. So when the internship was over, I begged and pleaded for a job. I said, I will sweep the floors at this place just to keep my foot in the door. About 6 months later, out of the blue, she called me up. She said, I've created a position for you. Do you want to be my weather producer?
Oh, that's awesome.
So my first job in television was in Charlotte. I went in every day, built graphics, did all the sort of grunt work.
Yeah.
And then a year and a half later, I got my first on-air gig in Greenville, North Carolina.
Okay.
At WITN. Fun story. My entire television career has been spent on Highway 17. So this studio, WMBF News, is on Highway 17 in Myrtle Beach. If you take Highway 17 north for about 5.5 hours, you run into WITN, which was also on Highway 17.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
You said you had the bug. I feel like I don't know if I ever had a bug until I got the job, just because Mom was kind of in the business, so I kind of understood a little bit more about it. But I wanted to make sure, like, okay, is broadcasting it, or is that all I know? I tried research. I tried National Weather Service. Loved my time at the National Weather Service in Louisville. Just not meant for it. I just can't. I can't sit there for 8 hours a day, and then the shifts.
The shifts.
For those that don't know, they rotate like every 3 weeks.
They do. They do.
You're working a different shift every 3 weeks, and
It's kind of funny to hear you complain about shifts.
well, I know, but it's like you're set, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, you're set. At least you know what's
I
coming.
don't know. It's crazy. But for me, I was lucky to get a foot in the door at a small station. They just did cut-ins at the time for two years while going to school. So I'm knocking out 21 hours of class, 40 hours of school, no social life whatsoever, which eventually led me to graduation and getting out to Eastern Kentucky, the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
But some of the best people.
Oh, the best.
Some of the best people. And then, of course, short from Eastern Kentucky to here. And it's just crazy when you think the bug, because I feel like we all have the weather bug.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But for broadcasters, there's like a certain switch that I think it's like, okay, wait, I really like this aspect of it too.
It's so true. And
I think it's the storytelling.
It's the storytelling, and I think it's just the excitement. Like, I still come into work.
Yeah.
I mean, there's days where I'm grumpy and I don't want to do it, and I'm tired.
We all have those days.
You know, we still get run down. But to walk into that studio, or right before showtime when the lights come on, I'm just like, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
Like, we get to do this?
Yeah,
We
right.
get to talk for 3 minutes about whatever?
This is cool.
What do you think in this? I mean, this, not trying to get controversial, but we see in a business now, broadcasting, we see a lot of our counterparts actually kind of like lose the bug a little bit in broadcasting.
Yeah.
Where do you think we are in that stage right now?
I can see how it happens.
Yeah.
I can see, as much as I love this business,
Yeah.
it can be really exhausting. It can wear you down, especially as time goes on, you know, because television news doesn't stop. So we've all done, you know, the Christmases and the Thanksgivings and missed important milestones doing this.
Yeah.
And we've worked the crazy long shifts, and it wears on you.
Especially on an active weather pattern.
An active weather, but give us a hurricane, a crazy hurricane season, it wears you down. And then it's just like any other job too. There's just a BS sometimes that you have to deal with, you know, the emails and the whatever and the corporate stuff. You just have to deal with it. But it does. You know, I think enough people still have the bug. You know, we're not going to run out of meteorologists anytime soon because there's enough of us out there. But I can see how it happens.
For people, maybe we have some people that are actually watching this. I know I have students and you have students that follow us on Twitter. Number one piece of advice you could give them based off at least what you know now. If you could go back and tell 18-year-old Jamie, hey, what would
I'm
you
not
say?
going to go back and tell 18-year-old Jamie.
Okay.
I'm going to tell the 18-year-olds who are listening right now.
Because they've changed a lot.
They've changed a lot. Shut up, do your job, avoid the drama, and just work hard.
Yeah.
You're going to get to where you want to go, but you're going to have to work for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people coming in this business right now who think it needs to be handed to them, who've spent 6 months in the career and think they're ready to work in a top 5 market. And you're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
There are people ahead of you that know a lot more than you do, have worked a lot harder than you do. Those are the people you want to latch on to, learn from them, work hard, and do it. And you'll get there. You're going to get there.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be handed to you,
Yeah.
especially if you cross my path. Because
I think that's what I love about it.
That's my biggest thing right now is
When
these
you're so
young ones.
real too. Like if I were to come to ask you advice and you truly were like, all right, listen, you would shoot me straight.
Yeah, I can't. It's happening a lot in this business, and a lot of it has to do with money and the way the economy is right now. You know, you've got people coming out of college that are getting into top 25, top 35 television markets, and that'll tend to give you a big head. but you need to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I want to see everybody do good. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but you got to earn your place. You got to earn your keep.
Yeah.
You got to put in the hours.
Be a sponge. That's what
Be
I
a
was
sponge. Just soak it in.
all in.
Soak it in. Yeah. And don't expect anything to be handed to you. If you come here, I'm not handing you anything.
Well, and that's the beauty of, I feel like, of how we operate. It's like work for what you get, and then do it. I'll also say this too, and maybe it was my college. I don't know. I feel like it was pushed very hard. Top 50 market or bust.
Yeah.
Top 20 market or bust. Life in Myrtle Beach is really nice.
Yeah. I've often been asked, well, why don't you go somewhere else?
Yeah.
Why don't you go somewhere else? I don't want to.
No.
There's something to be said. And I always say this for being the big fish in the small pond. It's a lot less stressful than a big market. Market size isn't everything.
Yeah.
It's really not. So
That's awesome.
I kind of got way off topic there,
I know.
but that was fun.
That was fun.
Well, you could get me fired up. You could get me fired up.
We don't want to get canceled.
Not yet. Not yet.
So you went from WITN.
Spent 6 years at WITN. Down there, up there on Highway 17.
You were a sponge.
I was a sponge, soaking it all in, covered so many hurricanes. That area covers the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So it was just hurricane after hurricane after hurricane. So that's where I kind of earned my hurricane stripes. Friend that I went to college with called me up and said, there's this new station being built in Myrtle Beach. Would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. I thought about it. I was doing weekends. I did 6 years of weekend weather at WITN. And so I was brought up here for an interview to do weekends. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, it's Myrtle Beach. I grew up vacationing here. Let me try it. I didn't get the job. Somebody else got the job.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I did not get the job. Somebody else got it, but the news director at the time said, if anything happens or if anything opens up, I'll call you. I was like, okay, I wasn't devastated, whatever.
Yeah.
3 months later, news director called and said, the guy that we offered to isn't coming, so we want to offer it to you. So for some reason, I still don't know what was going on in my brain. I'm glad now that it worked out. I made a lateral move. I went from doing weekends to doing weekends and zero pay raise. But I moved to Myrtle Beach.
Wow.
Literally zero pay raise. But here I came. And 16 years later, here I am. And I started here doing weekends. I didn't start here as chief. The person who hired me was the chief at the time. We were really good friends in college. We were really good friends here. And then he no longer was chief anymore. And I got his job.
Yeah.
And we're not exactly friends anymore. Things happen like that.
Yeah.
That's another episode.
I do want to dive in next week, just to preview what it will be is like the history of WMBF.
Oh, yeah. Boy, there's some stories to tell.
You're going to geek out.
There's
I have
some
all kinds of
stories
questions
to tell about
because
WMBF.
We get asked all the time, where's Marla?
Yep.
At least I do.
Yep.
I'm sure you do. We get asked, what happened to so-and-so, but I'd like to just go back to the very start.
We can do that.
So next episode, we could do that.
We can do that.
Before we end this one, though, I do want to come up with like a rapid fire situation for some questions for you.
But no, I want to come back for you. I feel like this has all been about me.
Yeah, I mean, I've answered
So
a
you've
little
been
bit.
here how long now?
Oh, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years in April.
And you started on weekends here, right?
We had that weird shift.
Kind of.
I did Sundays.
You did Sundays,
Sunday
right?
mornings. So I was like, what was that? Sunday through Thursday.
I don't even know why we were doing that.
I don't either.
But then quickly, it was like you were here, like 3 months or something?
Yeah, and then we went to weekday. You were in the morning still.
I was in the mornings.
And I was doing your shift, like a 10 to 6, 11 to 7.
Yeah, that was strange.
And Robert was doing nights.
Yep.
So Robert and I got to work a lot together.
Right.
And then I guess they made the change. They're like, listen, we can't have the chief in the morning.
Yeah, so they took me off mornings.
Correct.
You got on mornings.
And then that's where I've been ever since. So,
And
which I got to
loves
work
you
with
there.
Jessica a little bit.
Yeah.
Jessica's doing well in Louisville.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like I love the weekend shift.
So
though.
you got here, you bought a house.
House.
You've had a baby.
Had a baby.
I mean,
Well, I've signed an extension. I've said
signed
that
an
before.
extension, yeah.
You basically got me tied down here.
Yeah, you're
So,
stuck with us now.
Honestly, though, like if I was going to be stuck anywhere, I'm not stuck, obviously, but this
is it.
is a good spot.
Yeah.
The people are great. The viewers are great. My favorite part about the business is the people. I mean, I know that sounds cliche, and I don't mean it
really
to be
is,
cliche, but like going to meet these people and then hearing their story. We went and surveyed the damage of Ian.
Yeah.
Just hearing the stories of that
It was
alone.
incredible. Yeah.
That's what I think makes this such it gets you the bug again. If you lose it, you get it back.
Yeah, it gets you the bug again. And one of the greatest things that I learned from that day, it was the day after Ian, and I know we were both just exhausted from covering Hurricane Ian.
Yeah.
But we're also both geeks. And the first thing I wanted to do when the sun came up that next morning, was like, I got to get out there and see the damage. I want to be on the beach. And we did. We went out there and we walked, and you and I eventually met up once we could.
It was supposed to be a short survey.
Like, it'll be like, I'll go out for an hour. And it was,
we were there till 4 p.m.
Yeah, 4 p.m. that day.
I will never forget it.
But it also helps us, I feel like, to tell the story better the next time.
Yeah.
Because people kind of give you their perspective of what it was like and what was important to them. And it was a big learning experience.
Well,
so
and then those people are going to always remember, like, oh, yeah, you came after the worst night of my life.
Yep.
And you were there. And I actually remember the guy we talked to on the top, and he had the video.
Yeah.
I saw him that night, believe it or not, at the Coastal Carolina football game.
Yep.
I was like, what a small world.
Yep. I always say you win viewers one handshake at a time.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
One handshake at a time.
And honestly, too, like, just enjoy what viewers you have.
Right.
Sometimes you're so caught up on
Because
enjoy
as long as
the
they're
ones you
watching,
got.
we're getting paid.
And we get to tell some cool stories.
Yeah, exactly.
I was told we have to wrap up,
Okay.
believe it or not. But I do want to ask a couple questions real quick.
Okay.
Favorite music?
80s and retro country.
Retro country is
Retro
good.
country, yeah.
I like country and classic rock.
Yeah. I don't do the new country, though. I can't do new country.
I like some, but not like all the mainstream.
And I'm talking old country, too. I'm talking, let's go back to Conway Twitty.
Merle Haggard.
Okay,
yes.
Big Diamond Rio fan.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah, we could talk on that. Favorite movie?
Ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It just sticks with me. I'm not a person who goes and watches a movie over and over, but if I ever see Ghost, I'll stick around and watch it.
I don't even know if I have a favorite movie.
Yeah.
I mean, The Dark Knight was cool. Sandlot, baseball fan. I just don't.
Never seen any of them. I don't think I've been to a movie in 10 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
And last but not least, because I just wanted to do 3, favorite cocktail.
Cosmo. I'm single-handedly bringing the Cosmo back. I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Your favorite place? Okay, you can't. One of your favorite places, because I don't want to get you in trouble, to have a Cosmo.
One of my favorite places, the absolute best Cosmo in town. And maybe we should do a podcast there one time.
Okay.
With a drink. Lombardo's.
Okay.
It's the best.
Yeah, love
The
that
best.
place.
But there's a couple of good spots in town for a good Cosmo.
And I am an old-fashioned person.
Yeah.
So,
See, I
and
can't.
look.
When the screen goes black, they're like, okay, shut up. Shut up.
I'm telling you, they're telling us.
They're done. They're done. All right. So that will do it for this episode of Are You Serious?
Are You Serious? Weather conversation between you and us. We will be back next week with a history of WMBF news.
And some good juicy stories.
Ooh, can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.